something on the walls in here. And there's still some things we have to add, of course, maybe like a shelf right here, and maybe like a plant over there. We got this picture too. Okay, so now that the room feels a little more complete, it's time to finally get started on the dress. So someone commented on my last video and recommended that I wash the dress before sewing, and that's exactly what I did. This is my fabric freshly washed out of the washer and dryer. So now it's a little bit more relaxed. It shrunk however it's gonna shrink. It shrunk however it's gonna shrink, so that there's no surprises after sewing and then the dress like looks all wonky and shrinks later on. So best to just go ahead and wash it first and get it out of the way. I think it looks like even more like jean fabric now, although it's not. I like it even better washed. Like it looks so nice and so relaxed. And so I'm even more excited. But before all that, there's one more thing that I need that I thought that I packed when we first moved here, but I didn't. I need an iron. Like, I can't believe I don't have an iron. I thought there was one here, but it's not. So I ordered one curbside at Walmart, and I have to go pick that up like right now. And yeah, so ironing is another tip that helps your garment to look a little bit more refined and crisp. And I know this may be like a lot for like some beginners, but I'm not a complete beginner. I do have like a little bit of experience. Like I said, I learned to sew when I was 10, and then I took a sewing class last year. So picking up all of these tips isn't as overwhelming for me as it would be for maybe another beginner out there. So I'm not putting too much stress on myself. However this dress comes out is just how it comes out. It's the first dress I've sewn since I was 10. I've only made one. I've only made one garment. And I made a pillow last year, so I don't have a lot of experience. I am taking this little beginner. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and go pick up that iron and then come back so we can really get started. Okay, so I got a mini travel steam iron for $15 at Walmart. That brings my total spent on supplies to about, at the very least, depending on what you have and what you don't already have, you probably spend maybe anywhere from like $50 to $100 to get started sewing, aside from your machine. My machine was $159 plus tax, which came out to be about $172. So that's pretty on the affordable end when it comes to like good quality sewing machines, because like the more like advanced ones can go anywhere from $300 to $1,000. So $172, it's a good range, but like good beginner sewing machines typically range from maybe like 90 to, like I said, about what I paid, like 90 to 200. Unless, of course, you know, you're borrowing one or picking up one like thrifted or from Facebook Market or something. So I'm gonna open this. So cute. Yeah, so I'm going to lightly go over this fabric and smooth it out a bit, and then I'll move on to laying out the pattern and going over what other few supplies I got. Fabric is nice and smooth. Now for this pattern. As I mentioned in the last video, I'm going to be making this dress right here, number C. If you look on the back of the pattern, it does have some guidance. So it says, for the suggested fabrics, it lists different fabrics that will work well for this specific dress or these specific dresses. And then these are the sizes, but I was also recently informed by a commenter on the previous video not to go by the sizes. You go by your measurement. Although I'm not a size 12, this size 12 is what most closely will give me this flowy baby doll fit. And I'm gonna be making dress C. It tells me how much fabric I need. So for dress 12, I need 3 yards and 1/8. These are yards. So 3 yards and 1/8, but I went ahead and got 3.5. If I wanted to, I could make dress B, but I just want to keep it simple for myself. So yeah, that's all that's on the back of this. So let's take it out and see what's in here. This is what it looks like. I'm going to go over these tools I picked up. I just went ahead and got 2 because I know I'll be using these, so I got 2, but you only need 1 pack. These were $6.99 at Hobby Lobby. And I got a tracing wheel. I got a fabric marker because I'm going to explain later. And then I got a marking pencil. So if you open the pattern, it comes with, it has just a little bit more instructions. So for dress A, this is the layout. So my fabric, if you can see, it shows you how your fabric should be laid out, like long ways, and then it has these squares, and then how your pattern should be laid on the fabric. But this is for dress A. I'm not doing dress A. You know what? Since I have enough fabric, I might do dress B, because I didn't think that, like I said, I haven't looked at a pattern in about 20 years, so I didn't think it would have like this many instructions. But it tells you what each symbol is. I thought I would have trouble laying out the pattern on the fabric, so it's good that it's like included to what it should look like when you're laying the pattern down and cutting it out, so you're not like completely lost. So I'm glad that this is here. And it also right here, it tells you which piece is gonna be what. So number 1, it says the front, 2 is the back, 3 is the sleeve. So it says stuff like that. So that's really good. Very helpful. It's more helpful than I thought it would be. I thought it would just be like the pattern and some symbols and that's it. But it's a lot more than I thought it would be. Oh wow, it has a sewing tutorial. Ooh, I definitely want to watch that. Maybe I can like watch it on my iPad. That makes it so much easier. Oh wait, no, it's not a sew along. Oh wait, it might be. So I have to scan this. I have to scan this QR code and see if there's a tutorial for this dress, because I remember someone telling me that some of these patterns come with sew-alongs. If this comes with a sew-along, like I feel like more confident to make dress B now. So I'm glad I got the extra fabric. And so that would be right here. So this is what my, this is the fabric and this is what the pattern should look like laid out on my fabric. Okay, so I think I'm gonna try to make dress B. All right, so that's all this pretty much is. Your cutting layouts, general directions. Okay, so this is a lot more helpful than I thought. It has step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it has way more directions than I thought it would have. And so now I am confident enough to make dress B. This is what I'm gonna do. I've decided, I thought I had to pick something really, really simple so it'd be easy, but like a lot of stuff is right here. And I think I have like enough knowledge to figure out and follow along. So we'll just see. I'm gonna go ahead and try and scan this QR code so I can see if this pattern is, if they have a video for it, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have folded my fabric long ways. Like I said before, it's 3.5 yards. I'm just going ahead and start with this section and lay out the pattern that fits just in this section and then move on. Okay, so I have my iPad and if I scan this QR code. Okay, so this does not have a follow along. What it is like a how to do certain stitches or how to do certain sewing methods, but it is not a follow along sewing tutorial. So another thing that I recently learned was on the pattern, it has 45 inches and 60 inches. It's the width of your fabric. So how my fabric is laid out, flat and unfolded. So it's either normally around 45 inches or 60 inches. Mine is like about 42 inches. So I don't know if this would still completely work, but I'm gonna try. I have 45-inch wide fabric. Also, it tells you whether the pattern needs to be on the right side of the fabric or the wrong side of the fabric, or if the pattern piece needs to be facing up or down. The wrong side of the fabric is the side that doesn't have the printed pattern on it. It looks like, you know, the wrong side or the inside. So this is the actual pattern. These are the instructions, and this is the pattern. It's as thin as a tissue paper that you stuff in like gift bags. And I'm not sure if I ever went over what this stuff was for. So this is called carbon paper or like tracing paper. So it's like when you write a check or something and then it transfers to the other side. So this is kind of like that. You trace out the pattern and then you can put some of these markings onto the fabric. So that's one way you can do it. You can also use a fabric marker to make certain markings or a pencil to like outline, whatever works for you. But I think I'm gonna be using a mixture. So the tracing wheel goes with the tracing paper and then these just kind of stand on their own. My pattern says that for dress B, I need pieces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, and 12. So it tells you which pieces you need to cut out for the dress that you're making. So we come to this. All right, so here is piece 1. Okay, so this is the right side of the pattern. Okay, you guys, so I tried first outlining pattern with this marking pencil and it feels like it's not smooth enough for me. It's taking like, a little bit more effort than I would like just to make this one line. And then this, I outlined the pattern and it erased. So it is an air erasable pencil, so it erases with like either water or over time. And the packet said that use it on fabric that you're gonna be doing something with within 24 hours. So I assumed this would last a day. This started disappearing like within a minute. So I'm not gonna be using these two. So I went to the store yet again and bought some chalk. Hopefully this will be a lot easier. And so let's see. Oh yeah, it's a lot more pigmented. Yeah, this is what I'm gonna be doing. Okay, so that was a lot quicker. All right, that is all traced out. I'm trying to see what line I might need, like whatever markings need to be on the fabric. These are lines that I think should be on the fabric. And this is a notch. See this little triangle right here, and that needs to be on the fabric. So let's get to cutting. I'm going to break out my new pair of scissors. Alright, here's my first piece of cutout fabric. These are the triangles, and it says for size 6, 8, 10, 12. I folded the line that was 14 because my measurements align with the size 12. And I'm gonna make a notch, the triangle, at the line that says 12. Okay, so I hope that stays there. Okay, so I'm gonna use the yellow one. I feel like it would hopefully show up more on this blue fabric. Okay, so I just read that pattern markings typically go on the wrong side of the fabric, not the top side. Not that it matters too much, but it's best for these notches to be marked on the inside. So I was gonna use yellow because of this darkish blue color, but I think I'm gonna use like pink instead because the inside is pretty light. So I'm gonna use pink to be more visible. It's in between both pieces of the fabric, so these markings will be on the inside. I'm gonna do it like that. You can faintly see it. It's not the darkest mark, but I'm gonna do this one again. Okay, there. So I have pink notches on the inside of both sides of this fabric. Now for this gathering line and fold line. So I want to make sure these notches do not smear off. Okay. Okay, so the markings are on this fabric. Now I'm going to unpin this so that I can cut out 2 more of these. I'll open this. If you look closely, you see these 2 pink lines, kind of. It's kind of hard to see. Now there are 2 pink lines and 2 blue notches right there. So this is piece 12, number 1. Okay, so it took so long for me to cut out, lay out the pattern, outline, and mark this one piece of like the 10 other pieces I have to cut out. So I'm going to do the rest off camera so that this doesn't take all day. Okay, so far we're following this right here. We needed 1, 2, 3 pieces of 12. That's what this is right here. I numbered them with the chalk. 1, 2, 3 pieces of the 12. Cut out and marked. And next, I need 1 piece of number 5, 1 of number 6, and 1 of number 11. Oh, this is really long. Number 6, this is number 5. I'm gonna straighten it out and pin it. 5 goes like right here. Number 11 is supposed to go up here, but it doesn't look like I have enough room for it. But I'll have to see. So far, this is what we've got of the next part of the cutouts. 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna clean up these cutouts more closer to the line and place them and pin them properly, and then I'll be back. Okay, so quick update. So I said before, this is like really long. It doesn't look like it's going to fit. And so actually I noticed this. It says cut here for view C, which I'm not doing. And then if you move up here, it says cut here for A or B. And I'm doing B now, not C anymore. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna fit. But let's just see. I'll come back when these patterns are cleaned up around the edges and pinned to the fabric. Another trip to the fabric store because the pattern says that this is supposed to go up here, but there's just like not enough room. It doesn't fit all the way. Patterns normally go by fabrics that are around 45 inches wide or 60 inches wide, but this one was only 42 inches wide, like when unfolded. So I'll see if it can try to fit elsewhere, but the rest of the fabric over here is for the last couple of pieces that I have to cut out. This is supposed to go right here, and so that's how it's mapped out on the instructions of the pattern. And so if it doesn't go right there, it's not gonna fit anywhere else. So I may have to just go and get like one more yard for this. The fabric was on the right side out when it should have been the wrong side out. So I put the fabric inside out, and thankfully, you know, somehow the markings are still in the right place. There's actually 3 of these number 12s. So I know that if this one is still right, then the other 2 are still right. So I'm just gonna check the other 3 pieces that I cut out, and then I'll be right back. Just gonna make sure that everything, you know, lines up and the markings are in the right place. So again, I flipped the fabric inside out, and then the pattern is supposed to be printed side up for this piece. So everything is in the exact right place still, if you like line it up properly. So the circle's right there, and we're supposed to be in the little triangle. You can't really see it, but I put it right there. Well, this definitely took longer than expected. From reading the pattern, marking everything, pinning and cutting out all of the pieces. It just looks so simple, but I realized that sewing is something that you just can't rush. There's some things that you can probably speed through and it'll be fine, but sewing isn't one of them, unless you have like maybe years of experience, I don't know. But everything is finally cut out and ready to sew. I'm excited to finally move on to the fun part, putting all the pieces together and just seeing it come to life. Before I wrap up this week's video, I wanted to share one more exciting find. I had actually been looking into getting a new camera, and good vlogging cameras are expensive. So I was just going to wait and maybe upgrade as my channel grew. So I pray every single morning. And for some reason, this morning I just woke up with like a camera on my mind. I felt led to check out a local pawn shop. The first one didn't have any cameras, so I went to a second one and they had 3 in their display case. This Canon EOS M200 was one of them. So I asked the guy if it had a flip out screen because behind the glass I couldn't really tell like what model it was or like what kind of Canon it was. So he took it out and I saw that it had the flip up screen, so it could make like vlogging and recording myself like a lot easier. I held the camera in my hand and this may sound odd to some people, but as I was holding it, God told me that this was the camera for me. I asked if there was anything wrong with it and the guy said, no, there's nothing wrong with it, it's in great condition, and he said, I'll give it to you for $350. And so, you know, of course, if God said that, you know, it's for me, like, it was a yes for me. It came with the camera bag, the charger, of course the lens. I think even if you buy it new, it comes with this lens. Because I just, at the time, didn't see myself spending almost $1,000 for a camera. So I was just sitting in the car feeling so grateful and blessed that God had provided exactly what I needed in the type of camera that I wanted. So I just wanted to come on here and show you guys. And I'm excited to start using it. So yeah, I'm excited to start using it and bring you guys along as I continue creating. So that's all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Sewing Diaries. If you enjoyed this vlog, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next week when we finally start sewing this dress together. Bye.